I'll never forget the moment I opened my phone and saw my home address plastered across a local Facebook group shared under my husband's family name. My chest tightened, my hand shook, and I swear for a second, the world went silent. They had done it. The very people who were supposed to treat me like their own, the people who smiled in my face every Sunday dinner, had put me in danger. Strangers could find me, come to my door, stalk me. And then came the worst part, the comment underneath their post, saying it was an accident. As if anyone accidentally types out an entire street name, house number, and zip code. That was the exact second I realized I was done. Done pretending. Done staying quiet. And most of all, done letting them get away with humiliating me. What would you do if your own in-laws exposed your private address for thousands of strangers to see? Would you forgive them or fight back? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories. Before everything exploded, my life seemed normal enough. I had married into the Morgan family 2 years earlier. My husband, Daniel, was steady, quiet, the kind of man who avoided conflict. His family, on the other hand, thrived on it. His mother, Patricia, carried herself like she owned every room she walked into. His sister, Melanie, was sweet to my face, but had a way of twisting every word I said behind my back. And his brother, Chase, well, he was the type who thought practical jokes were the highest form of humor, no matter who they hurt. At first, I kept my head down. I told myself, it's just the way they are. Don't make waves. But the cracks kept showing. Patricia often criticized how I decorated our home. Melanie accidentally left me out of family events. And Chase? He laughed the loudest whenever I was embarrassed. Then came the betrayal. One quiet evening, scrolling through my phone, I saw it, a public post in a community group. A screenshot of an online delivery form with my name, my number, and my exact address, uploaded by Melanie's account. The caption read, "Does anyone know if this package belongs to her?" My stomach dropped. My home, my safe place, wasn't private anymore. Dozens of comments had already poured in. And within minutes of me confronting the family chat, they all chimed in the same rehearsed excuse. Oh, it was just an accident. But I knew better. From that night on, nothing felt the same. I would lie awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering who had screenshotted my address, who might be driving past my house, who might be watching. The smallest noises outside, a car slowing down, a knock at the door, even footsteps on the sidewalk, made my chest tighten until I could barely breathe. My home didn't feel like home anymore. When I asked Daniel to confront his sister about it, he just sighed. Melanie said it was an accident. What else do you want me to do? His passiveness cut deeper than I expected. He didn't raise his voice, didn't comfort me, didn't fight for me. He just folded. That hurt more than the betrayal itself. The next family dinner was worse. Patricia gave me that tight smile, the kind that hides condescension behind polished lipstick, and said, "We're so sorry, dear. You know Melanie didn't mean it." Chase smirked across the table, clearly entertained by the tension. And Melanie? She kept fiddling with her phone, refusing to even look at me. I swallowed my anger, but inside, I was unraveling. Part of me wanted to scream, to flip the table and expose them for what they were. Another part of me felt small, silenced, trapped in their toxic circle. I tried to be reasonable. I even suggested we set boundaries, like no more sharing personal information online. Patricia rolled her eyes and said, "You're being dramatic. No one cares about your little worries." That was the breaking point. I wasn't just betrayed. I was dismissed, mocked, and left unprotected. The people who should have shielded me had instead stripped away my safety. It was in those quiet, sleepless nights, when fear and humiliation pressed hardest on my chest, that something inside me shifted. If they thought I was weak, they were about to learn how wrong they were. I stopped confronting them directly. What was the point? They had already decided my feelings were nothing but overreactions. So, instead of arguing, I smiled. I nodded. I pretended to move on. That was the moment my silence became my weapon. Late at night, when Daniel was asleep, I sat at my desk with my laptop open. I started gathering things, Screenshots of Patricia's emails where she insulted me, text threads where Melanie gossiped about neighbors, even public comments Chase had left on questionable websites. I dug deep, careful, patient, methodical. The more I uncovered, the more a plan began to form. I didn't tell Daniel. He wouldn't have understood, not yet. But inside, I knew they had stolen my safety, my peace of mind. I was going to take something from them too, something they valued more than anything else. And I was going to do it so cleanly, they'd never see it coming. It started with Patricia. She prided herself on being the perfect hostess, the respectable church lady whose reputation was spotless. But buried in those old group emails she sent to neighbors, I found her unfiltered side, rants about lazy parents, complaints about specific families by name, even a few cruel remarks about people in her own congregation. I packaged those screenshots neatly and, using an anonymous email, sent them to the very people she insulted. Within days, whispers spread. Her polished image crumbled, one icy glance at a Sunday service at a time. Then came Chase. He loved mocking me online, but he had his own digital skeletons. Old posts, crude jokes, comments that didn't age well. With just a few anonymous tips to his employer, those screenshots made their way to HR. The day I heard he'd been suspended pending review, I smiled for the first time in weeks. And Melanie. Oh, Melanie. She was the one who had first posted my address. I knew she lived for social media, for that constant validation. So I built a quiet little trail. Comments she left mocking coworkers, a private video where she drunkenly trashed her best friend, screenshots of her gossip that she thought would never surface. Then, I leaked them carefully one by one to the right people. Within a month, she went from being the bubbly social butterfly to the girl nobody trusted. I didn't need to shout or fight or beg them to see my pain. My revenge wasn't loud. It was precise. Surgical. And when the dust settled, every single one of them felt the weight of exposure, humiliation, and fear, the same things they had forced on me. For the first time, I felt free. When the storm finally quieted, I sat with myself and asked, was it worth it? The Morgans were fractured, each one scrambling to protect their own image. Patricia stopped hosting Sunday dinners. Chase avoided everyone, too ashamed to face the same neighbors he once laughed at. And Melanie? She barely posted online anymore, her confidence shattered. But what about me? Did revenge heal me? The truth is, revenge didn't erase the fear I felt that night my address was posted. It didn't magically restore the sense of safety I had lost. What it did give me, however, was power. For so long, I felt voiceless in their world, cornered into silence while they mocked me. Taking control of the narrative, turning their cruelty back onto them, reminded me I wasn't helpless. I learned that revenge isn't always about cruelty. It can be about balance, about making people understand that actions have consequences. That mocking someone's pain doesn't mean the universe won't come knocking on your own door someday. Would I do it again? Maybe not in the same way. But I can tell you this. The Morgans will think twice before they ever call my fears dramatic again. And me? I walked away not just with closure, but with the strength to never let anyone dismiss my voice again. After everything, life finally felt quieter, safer. I changed my locks, updated my privacy settings, and made sure my personal details stayed protected. But the real change wasn't in the locks or passwords, it was in me. I stopped trying to fit into the Morgan family mold. I stopped seeking Patricia's approval, stopped caring if Melanie liked me, and stopped letting Chase's jokes get under my skin. I realized that their acceptance was never the prize, my peace was. Daniel and I had some hard conversations too. For the first time, he admitted he had been too passive, too eager to keep the peace by sacrificing me. It wasn't easy, but I laid it out plainly. If he wanted our marriage to survive, he needed to stand with me, not behind his family. To my surprise, he listened. Slowly, he started putting up boundaries with them, something he had never dared to do before. The Morgans learned to live without me as their easy target, and I learned to live without craving their approval. And honestly, it felt good. I wasn't just the woman whose address they exposed anymore. I was the woman who refused to be silenced, who took her fear and turned it into fuel. My revenge wasn't just payback. It was my rebirth. Sometimes, revenge isn't about destroying the people who hurt you. It's about proving you can't be destroyed by them. When my husband's family exposed me, I thought I had lost everything. My safety, my dignity, my peace. But in the end, I found something stronger. My own voice. We don't always get to choose the battles life throws at us, but we do get to choose how we fight them. And I chose to fight back. What about you? If your in-laws posted your private address online and brushed it off as an accident, how would you respond? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.